Welcome back. It's time for Business Matters, and we have Don Ma here with us. Don, happy Friday. Good to see you.
Yeah, happy Friday indeed. Yeah, let me start off some maybe promising news for Boeing, actually. The plane maker stock climbed in response to its latest effort to end a damaging strike. The aerospace giant has agreed to boost wages 38% over 4 years and is offering an improved $12,000 ratification bonus. The U.S. playmaker bumped up its previous offer of a 35% wage increase, and that offer and another were rejected by employees. Workers will now vote on the new proposal on Monday. Currently, around 33,000 workers are on strike. Now, fresh concerns for investors over the world's most valuable company. This comes after Apple's quarterly earnings report. The tech giant said total sales in the December period will rise by a low to mid-single-digit percentage. Investors are concerned about revenue growth during the critical holiday sales period. This is on top of lingering weakness in China, where Apple faces stiff competition. CEO Tim Cook said its iPhone grew in every geographic market, which would point to other products struggling in China. Products that have fallen short overall of analysts' estimates include iPads and wearables. Peloton has announced its new CEO and president, Peter Stern. Stern is a Ford executive and the co-founder of Apple Fitness Plus. At Ford, he primarily oversees the car maker's subscription services like Blue Cruise. He also worked on subscriptions at Apple. The decision to pick Stern shows the company is focusing on subscription revenue. That is where it has the highest margin. In a press release announcing Stern's new role, the company said it chose him because he's a product innovator and strategist. Stern takes the helm starting on the first of the new year. PepsiCo has won a lawsuit over alleged plastic pollution in New York. The state's Attorney General, Letitia James, sued the soda giant and its snack food unit, Frito-Lay, last November. She wanted to hold the company liable for allegedly endangering Buffalo's water supply by generating plastic waste found in the Buffalo River. The judge dismissed the case and criticized James for filing it. He said it would run contrary to legal norms to punish PepsiCo, since people are the ones ignoring littering laws, not the company. The judge said James had ignored a 2003 appeal in which the court refused to hold Strum, Rutger & Company liable for criminals using its handguns. He warned this would open the floodgates to public nuisance lawsuits. The Internal Revenue Service updated its rules for certain retirement accounts. It increased the amount individuals can contribute to their 401k plans next year. It will now be $23,500. This also applies to 403bs and the federal government's thrift savings plan. The revision is part of the Internal Revenue Service's annual cost of living adjustment for pension plans and other retirement accounts, but the limit for IRA contributions will remain at $7,000. The additional $1,000 IRA catch-up contribution for people 50 and over will also remain the same. And October's jobs report ravaged by hurricanes and work stoppages. The U.S. added 12,000 jobs, while economists expected over 100,000. Analysts give us their take. Take a look.
October's job report is hit by storms and strikes. Economists expected 100,000 added jobs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics found 1,200. In its words, payroll employment was essentially unchanged.
There's a little bit of maybe artificialness to some of those losses of jobs numbers.
Analyst Aaron Sorkina says the Boeing strike erased over 40,000 jobs from the numbers. And it's showing signs of resolving. And hurricanes paused economic activity in the southeast.
So you might see some of those numbers pop back fairly quickly. But either way, the market seems to like it because it probably means an increased likelihood that we're going to see another quarter-point rate decrease at the next Fed meeting.
Despite the distortions from bad weather and striking machinists,
it actually is consistent with the big picture, which is that the labor market is growing but slowing.
ZipRecruiter chief economist Julia Pollock says in the past 2 quarters, job gains have been below the pre-pandemic average by about 100,000.
This is a broad trend, and it's the direct result of restrictive monetary policy delaying investments and causing employers to be more cautious about expanding and hiring.
Pollock says the labor market might reheat as interest rates normalize, but there's no evidence that's happening yet.
Indonesia said it has banned the sales of Google smartphones because of rules requiring locally made components. These rules require certain smartphones sold in Indonesia to contain at least 40% locally manufactured parts. This comes a week after it blocked sales of Apple's iPhone 16s for the same reason. The industry ministry spokesperson said people can buy Google Pixel phones overseas as long as they pay the necessary taxes. He said the country would consider deactivating the phones that are sold illegally. Amazon says they have an edge on fast fashion sites like Temu and Shein. In their earnings call yesterday, Amazon Chief Financial Officer broke down their advantage in the essential items department. NTD Sean Marshall has more info.
Amazon's focus on offering a higher quantity of everyday essentials like toothpaste is hurting its average selling prices, but it's also a guard against rivals such as Temu and Shein that offer extremely low prices on goods they ship from China. Amazon said people are shopping on Amazon more frequently and adding more low-priced items with each checkout.
The strength in everyday essentials revenue is a positive indicator that customers are turning to us for more of their daily needs. We see that when customers purchase these types of items from us, they build bigger baskets, shop more frequently, and spend more on Amazon.
The e-commerce giant has seen its market share shrink in the clothing department as Shein and Temu expanded in international markets with $12 dresses and $10 gadgets, but offering a variety of everyday products like dish detergent and floss with quick delivery is helping Amazon. Amazon reported third quarter revenue and profit on Thursday that beat Wall Street expectations. Shein is trying to ramp up selling everyday products too. Earlier this year, it began teaming up with skincare and personal care brands such as Colgate-Palmolive to sell more household names on the platform. It expanded its product selection in 2023 to include beauty and personal care products, household items, and furniture. Head of technology research at D.A. Davidson, Gil Luria, said companies such as Shein would be less successful in expanding to day-to-day products. He said these Amazon rivals have instead specialized in items that the consumer is less time-sensitive about, such as dresses, accessories, and gadgets. Amazon's real competition is more localized to the United States with Walmart and Target. Both regularly continue to expand their product options available in their website stores. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
Billionaire investor Warren Buffett made a bold claim about corporate taxes during the annual meeting for Berkshire Hathaway. He suggested that if 800 other companies matched Berkshire's federal tax payments, no other person in the U.S. would have to pay taxes for federal income, Social Security, or estate. Buffett said that last year Berkshire paid about $5 billion in federal taxes. He said it's important businesses fulfill their tax responsibilities. While Buffett supports increased corporate taxes, critics say it could have negative impacts, including reducing wages. And a Delaware judge is deciding whether a vote by Tesla shareholders reinstate Elon Musk's $56 billion pay package. This is according to the judge's letter to the lawyers in the case. The court previously canceled that package. Musk's 2018 pay package of stock options is by far the largest ever in corporate America. The Chancellor of Delaware's Court of Chancery ruled in January that the compensation was unfair to Tesla shareholders. She found it was negotiated by directors who appeared beholden to Musk. Two decisions are being weighed that will have a multi-billion-dollar impact on Tesla and its investors. One is a request for Tesla to pay $1 billion in cash to the lawyers who represented the shareholder who sued Musk over his pay. The other is to decide whether a vote by Tesla shareholders restored the pay package after it was canceled in a court ruling. And 60,000 tumblers are being recalled because of a safety hazard with metal straws. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the recall affects 24-ounce tumblers sold in August at Wawa convenience stores in 8 states and the District of Columbia. The CPSC says it received 4 reports of laceration injuries to mouths and hands. Multicolored tumblers with the Wawa logo were distributed by Halo Branded Solutions in Illinois. The company says consumers can contact them for instructions on how to exchange the metal straw for a silicone one. Consumers can also return the tumbler for a full refund. Now, with Halloween in the rear view, retailers are looking ahead to the winter holidays and hoping to muster some magic. And this comes amid challenges this year between a tense presidential election and a shortened holiday shopping season. Take a look.
While parents are picking away at their children's Halloween candy castaways, retailers are working to get ready for the holiday shopping season.
We have always seen that the winter holidays have been central to both consumers and to the retail industry. This year is certainly no exception.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says they expect shoppers to spend a record $902 per person on average this year on seasonal items like gifts, food, decorations, and cards. That's up $27 from last year.
Celebrations and these special moments throughout the year have really become a priority for them, even when things are tough.
Every year, consumers are faced with stressors, but this year, the NRF asked if the election was factoring into shopping habits. For most, the answer was no, but some are looking for retail therapy.
If anything, they might be looking to holiday shopping as a little bit of an escape.
Meanwhile, retailers themselves are up against a shorter time clock with 5 fewer calendar days this year between Thanksgiving and Christmas to entice customers.
We know that many consumers will have started browsing or buying, at least doing some of their research even before November, while the bulk of spending really does still kick off in November or December.
Even with the shortened time frame, the NRF expects holiday shopping to grow between 2.5% and 3.5% from last year, totaling between a whopping $979.5 billion and $989 billion.
And the world's first wooden satellite has been built by Japanese researchers. It's set to be launched to space next Tuesday. An early test for using timber in lunar and Mars exploration. Let's take a look.
It might just make space exploration a little more sustainable. Scientists in Japan are set to test the world's first wooden satellite. The LignoSat was developed by a team from Kyoto University and homebuilder Sumitomo Forestry. It will be launched next week atop a SpaceX rocket bound for the International Space Station. Former Japanese space shuttle astronaut Takao Doi was part of the Kyoto team.
If we can use materials that humans can make and bring them to outer space, people will be able to create a sustainable society. Therefore, we want to find out if wood can be used in space or not, and that's why we made this wooden satellite.
LignoSat, named after the Latin word for wood, will be released from the space station in the coming weeks. It will orbit for 6 months, testing how well the material can withstand the extreme environment. Forest science professor Koji Murata says wood can actually perform well in space, as there's nothing there to make it rot or catch fire.
The wood used for the satellite comes from a type of magnolia tree, Japanese hinoki. Traditionally, it is easy to process and resistant to shattering, which is why it is typically used for things like the scabbards of Japanese swords and the blades of Japanese wooden sandals due to its strength.
Wood also offers benefits at the end of the satellite's life, when it will burn up harmlessly in the Earth's atmosphere. Traditional satellites burn up too, but give off a shower of polluting metal particles when they do. Looking further ahead, Doi sees the satellite as a step towards a bigger dream. He wants to plant trees and build timber houses on the Moon and Mars.
A few weeks after Election Day, a New York auction house will try to make history. National artifacts from George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Dwight Eisenhower, and JFK will be up for bidding. NTD's Andrew Thomas has the details.
Guernseys will hold the auction on November 22nd in New York City. Among the unique items is an 8-foot-long 37-star American flag that draped President Abraham Lincoln's coffin following his assassination.
As the coffin was loaded onto a train in Washington and then embarked on a historic run from Washington to Philadelphia to New York City, on to other stops as it made its way to Springfield, Illinois, where the president was buried.
So how much will this piece of history go for?
The Lincoln train flag has been estimated at between $800,000 and $1.2 million, $800,000 and $1.2 million. But it will be sold. It's anybody's guess.
Additional highlights include a lock of George Washington's actual hair preserved inside its original locket.
It was first given to a family friend of the Washingtons, and then their descendants kept a record of it very religiously through the generations.
2 49-star Oval Office flags and the only 49-star presidential seal will be up for bidding. Dwight Eisenhower became president in 1953 when the nation was comprised of 48 states. In January 1959, Alaska became the 49th state. Hawaii became the 50th in August of that same year.
This particular presidential flag and the American flag that its mate were the only 49-star flags ever to be in the White House.
The auction will also feature sculptures, including presidential busts of John F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln. The upcoming auction will take place online and in person at the Orator Galleries in Manhattan's Upper East Side. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
Okay, on to Wall Street. Major indexes ended higher today, rebounding from the previous day's sell-off. Amazon rose after reported earnings on Thursday that revealed strong retail sales, boosting profit above Wall Street estimates. Meanwhile, Apple fell as investors worried about a decline in its China sales during its most recent quarter. Equity markets largely brushed off a weak U.S. October non-farm payrolls data, given disruptions from hurricanes and strikes. With that, that's all for today's Business Matters. Back to you guys.
Don, thank you. Great reporting as always. How's holiday shopping going for you guys?
Well, it's interesting that, despite what I've been hearing about the economy, record spending apparently, according to that package, over $900 and about a $27 increase over the previous year. I mean, that's pretty good. Seems like people are doing well.
Seems like you're dodging the question, Don. Have you started your holiday shopping?
Well, I don't really do Christmas. So do I shop just for the holiday season? I mean, or just for the for Christmas? I mean, I don't really know if I should do presents because I don't really do Christmas. So, I mean, I haven't started holiday shopping.
Well, Don, I would say you're missing out. I, for one, am very excited. I haven't started holiday shopping yet, but I am getting ready to. I love nothing more than an excuse to shop.
We can't wait to hear all about your shopping list, Fiona.
I'll make sure you hear about it.